All right, and we're back here on 48 Minutes, and let's go ahead and discuss the All-NBA teams that were announced over the weekend, and let's do a little bit of a lightning round on each selection. So starting out with the first team, Bruce, we've got Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons.
He is very deserving of his spot on the first team. Led his team to 60 wins, battled hard in the playoffs, turned the ball over a lot. Team came up short, but he needs a little bit more help. And when he gets a little bit more help, they're going to be fine, and he could be a future MVP.
All right, World B.
His ascension year after year continues to be impressive. He, just continues to be one of the premier players in the league. This is not the last time we'll mention his name, I believe, on first team All-NBA.
Yep, and for me, with Cade Cunningham, I think their team kind of got exposed to the playoffs. We saw how important he was to their success, and he needs some other help out there because he kind of carried them throughout the regular season as one of the top MVP candidates before he went down with a brutal injury down the stretch, but he deserves first team, absolutely. Next up, we have Luka Doncic. Bruce?
Luka was not deserving of first team NBA this year.
Ooh.
I'm very, very sorry, Luka. Jaylen Brown deserved that spot. Forget the fact that Luka only didn't play 65 games. He appealed and he won his appeal. Okay. I guess the 65 game rule didn't apply to him. Okay. So, okay, fine. This season, as usual, he was a fantasy league MVP. He always is, but he publicly dissed his coach when he came out of a game late in the season. And LA, oh, by the way, did pretty well in the postseason without him. I mean, you knew they weren't going to win anything, but
Sure.
They played really well without him. So Look, once LeBron is gone, I don't think it'll be after, I think he'll play at least one more season, but once he's gone, LA will have a chance to build around him, and then we'll see what he can do as a leader rather than just a performer, because I have my doubts.
All right, World B.
Oh, geez. League's leading scorer. He also averaged almost 8 rebounds a game, over 8 assists a game. The numbers alone say he's worthy of first team selection. I see Bruce's point about Jaylen Brown. I'd have no problems if the two were flip-flop, but honestly, the numbers alone are worthy of first team All-NBA selection to me.
Yeah, I agree with you there, World B. They were flip-flopped. I would have had no issues with it whatsoever, but leading the league in points for the season and having the other overall numbers to kind of back that up, fantasy or not, pretty much impressive stuff there by Luka in LA. Now, next up, we probably don't need to spend much time on this guy, Bruce, SGA.
He's now won back-to-back MVPs. He's finished in the top 5 in the MVP voting for 4 years in a row. He's just shy of 28 years old, and Springfield awaits.
Will be.
Yeah, I really don't think there's a world out there where the MVP is not on the first team. So that was a pretty easy choice. Second in the league in scoring. He's one of the guys. He was the most consistent star player from the beginning of the season all the way to the end. He was excellent. And when he sat out few games during the regular season, we saw how much the Thunder really, as much talent as they have, how much they needed the league MVP on there for things to gel. And he was a no-brainer selection.
All right, moving on. The Joker.
Joker is the do-everything beating heart of the Nuggets franchise. If Wemby is the number 1 cheat code in the NBA, then Joker is number 1A.
World B.
I think he had a triple-double while we started talking about this show. So, he's just a triple-double machine. The one thing we keep talking about, him and the Nuggets, how he doesn't have any help, even though it seems like he has a roster of really solid players, at least a starting 5. But it all seems to go on him, and he always seems to put up the numbers. So, he's one of the premier players in the league, and he has been for years. He will be for at least the next half decade, I would imagine.
Yeah, heart and soul of the Denver Nuggets. Without him, I don't know what they are. They're definitely not a playoff team. He is everything and more to the franchise and one of the faces of the NBA. So not a surprise to see the Joker land back here on the first team. Last but certainly not least, Bruce, Wemby.
He should have won the MVP this year, But, maybe he'll just have to settle for the finals MVP.
Nice. Will be.
Yeah, this is the first, not the first, but one of many he will pick up along the way to his Hall of Fame career, health willing. He was just probably the most dominant player in the league.
Yep. All right, moving on to the second team. Bruce, will start out with your guy, Jaylen Brown.
He was incredible this season. He led a team that many felt was 40-win team at best to 56 wins and the number 2 seed in the East. And no, they had a disappointing playoffs, but it's a regular season award. And from game number 1 through game number 82, he was just, he put that team on his back and he carried them to a tremendous regular season.
Will be.
Yeah, there was a point about a quarter of the way through the season, I thought he was going to be the MVP of the league. I mean, he was leading that team so impressively, and he absolutely could make a case for him being first team. Bruce made a pretty solid one, I'd say. I'll say this. On a team like the Celtics that just take nothing but three, half their shots are threes, and the mid-range game is not a part of their offense. Jaylen Brown made the mid-range game a major part of his offense this year. Almost 19% of his scoring came from mid-range jumper, which is very un-Boston-like. But he transformed his game a little bit, and he reaped the benefits of a near MVP or an MVP-type season.
Yeah, he definitely transformed his game. I think he went from upper echelon all-star to a superstar this year. One of the more surprising players in the NBA, leading one of the most surprising teams. So well-deserved there of Jaylen Brown, at least making one of the top 2 teams here, all-NBA. Next up, Bruce, Jalen Brunson.
Is so good that I wonder if keeping Luka Doncic and letting Brunson walk was the right move for Dallas. Obviously, you had to keep Luka. I get that. But the Brunson burner was lit when he left, and it's been burning brightly ever since, right up until this very moment that we're speaking to you now as the Knicks are in the NBA Finals, and Jalen Brunson is reason number 1.
Will be?
Yeah, he's been the leader of this team since he showed up. You look at a lot of points at when the Knicks franchise went from dormant to where they are right now, but it didn't begin necessarily with Jalen Brunson. But boy, he really took them to that next level, and it's been an impressive run since he's come to Madison Square Garden.
Real quickly here, has he already done enough taking the Knicks to the finals this year to have his jersey retired, or is there still more he has to do in order to get his number up in the MSG rafters?
I don't know if there's more that he has to do. I will say this. I do think the next jersey, by the time he's done playing, the next jersey that will hang in the MSG rafters will be Jalen Brunson. It won't be Carmelo Anthony. It won't be Bernard King. It's going to be Jalen Brunson.
Wow. Tremendous honor if that were the case. Bruce, Kevin Durant.
He and Luka kind of had similar seasons. They had great regular season numbers, and then the injuries kind of neutralized their playoff, their ability to do anything in the playoffs. Now, KD can still do it after all these years, and by the time he hangs it up, he'll likely end up either number 2 or number 3 on the all-time scoring list. So, still a super talent at his age, but, Father Time might be catching up to him a little there.
Oh, yeah, definitely is. World B, what do you got on KD?
I think, another typical KD season in terms of just impressive shooting all over the court. I mean, really did not have – you look at his numbers from area on the court. He didn't have a weak spot, and he may be the only player in the league that can say that. He dominated inside. He dominated from the mid-range, which he's legendary at, and he was a solid three-point shooter. The only thing I would say is there's a guy on the third team that I think should have switched places with KD, and we'll get to that. But his numbers are typical KD, excellent shooting numbers.
Yeah,
I know just who he means, and it isn't Jalen Duren.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll have to wait and see. All I got to say on KD is the fact that I was impressed how many minutes he played. The production he had during the regular season. I know it's hard to focus on the regular season given the fact he didn't really show up at all for the Houston Rockets playoff run, but it was a tremendous year for KD, and just another feather in his cap for his Hall of Fame career. Next up, Bruce, we've got Kawhi Leonard.
You know, he had a wonderful season. He proved that he was still trouble out there, okay? But this really kind of felt like a last hurrah effort from Kawhi, and it's really going to be tough for him to repeat this. He was fantastic this year. And, you know, it's been said before, we'll see if he can stay healthy, whatever. So we don't really know. But look, guy has won 2 NBA championships, finals MVP twice, going to the Hall of Fame. He showed that he still has it, but I don't expect anything like his season performance this year moving forward. I think this was, it's all downhill from here for him.
Yeah, that could have been peak, right? This year as far as what he provided. But it was good that he had this type of year because, boy, did it help. His play on the court helped us forget about the whole planting tree business before the start of the season. Maybe that was part of the plan. I'm going to play really well this year, so all I can focus on is how exceptional I'm playing and I'm back healthy. And if that was the case, he accomplished it. Wilby, what's your thoughts on Kawhi?
He's always been one of my favorite players. He had, you forget, he's 34, and he's still putting up almost 28 a night. And you look at all the players that average 27 or more points per game this year, he's one of 3 that shot 50% from the field and 38% from 3. The other 2, SGA and Joker. I mean, that's nice company to be in. Well deserved of second team honors, in my opinion.
And lastly, here in the second team here, Bruce, Donovan Mitchell.
Spider is always worth the price of admission. He plays hard. He's always a threat to, as I like to say, go nuclear on a given night. It looked like in Game 4 against the Knicks on Monday night, it looked like he was going to kind of bust out of the gate that way. Couldn't really sustain it, but did his best, and just a totally entertaining player to watch. When you're trying to guard that guy, it's got to be a nightmare.
Yeah, will be.
Yeah, the Cavs really got exposed in this conference finals. They really have to regroup. We'll have to figure out what they're going to do in the offseason. But Donovan Mitchell certainly gave his all in Game 4 elimination. He's been a solid player since he came to Cleveland. He's one of the big reasons, if not the biggest reason, they have been so competitive in the regular season. He's well-deserved the second team selection. No issue at all.
All right. To the third team we go, Tyrese Maxey.
I think World B should go first on him.
Okay. World B?
On a team that had so many injury issues and so many problems, he's a guy who went out, led the league in minutes. Never mind scoring 28 a night. He had to take a lot of shots to do it. He one of 3 players to average 21 or more shots a game. So he really had to carry a lot of the load. We talk about Jaylen Brown having to carry a lot of the load. Well, Tyrese Maxey had to do the same, and to be on the court almost 40 minutes a night, and put up the numbers he put up was pretty impressive.
Maxey is pure adrenaline on the court. He has a gear that very few players can match. Philly is no longer Joel Embiid's team. This is Tyrese Maxey's team.
Well said there, Bruce. All right, World B, Jamal Murray.
I didn't have any problem with him. 25 points a night. He got his first All-Star game selection this year, so it's a real solid season for Jamal Murray. He put up 7 assists along with 25 a night. That's pretty impressive. They're just gonna. It's hard to believe a team with Joker and Jamal Murray couldn't get past round 1 here, but such was the case.
Bruce?
I mean, Jamal Murray is a great wingman for Joker, and he is a combustible scorer on his own. Some nights he kind of reminds me of Spider, the way he can just go off. And, I mean, he's had a few of those games this year and, very well deserving. So, another great Canadian star, and there are so many in the league right now.
Yeah, he is the Robin to Joker's Batman in Denver, and he's been a long-handed, what's the word? Dependable second guy for the Joker here. I'm at a loss for words how good Jamal Murray is, clearly. but he has been one of the focal points to that offense for quite some time, and glad to see he's getting some recognition here with the third team this year. Now, next up, we've got Jalen Johnson, World B.
This is the guy I thought should have been second team pick instead of Kevin Durant. I mean, he really broke through and had a major step up in class, as we say as a fan of horse racing, when you see a horse like that take a leap forward in a big race. He stepped up in class and became a legitimate, obviously an all-star. They got rid of Trae Young because they thought this was his time, Jalen Johnson, and he responded. 13 triple doubles this year. Only Joker had more because, like I said, Joker had one, tonight when he wasn't even playing. He's so darn good. But 20 points, 10 boards, almost 8 assists. There's not too many in the league that can put up those numbers. Joker's one. That's about it.
Yep.
He's the latest Jalen to excel in the NBA. Right now, there are 9 of them in the league, and he's only the third best right now behind Brunson and Brown, okay? But he is the key guy on a young and improving team, and his best basketball is definitely still in front of him.
Yeah, I've got a fun fact on the Jalen's here at the end of these honors, Bruce, but glad you pointed that out. As for Jalen Johnson, for me, I'm glad he really got his flowers this year, given the season that he had for this Hawks team. He was the main heart and soul to this group, kept them afloat. Every night, if they needed scoring, he provided that. If they needed help on the boards, he was doing that as well. And on nights where, CJ McCollum was either traded away or Trae Young was out injured, he stepped up and was producing and creating for others. So a little bit of everything there. He is the Swiss Army knife, and I think he's just going to continue to grow next year. And next year, I think we'll find him on the second team, will be, and I think you'll get your wish there. Next up, we've got Chet Holmgren. Will be.
Yeah, he talk about a guy who's just getting better and better. I mean, think about this. I know the Thunder are loaded. We all know that. That's why they're in the position they're in or whatever. When he played in 69 games, they were 56-13 when he played. I mean, that's just an absurd record for a player. I get it. He plays with SGA. It helps you your record wise. They outscored opponents by almost 10 points a game when he was on the court, plus minus. Averaged almost 2 blocks a game. Shot 56% from the field. Yeah, he is a offensive, defensive guy. He's as good as there is in the league this side of Wemby.
He's a premier rim protector. He can do a little bit of everything. But every time he goes down to the floor, I worry about him. Is he going to get up? But he was pretty durable, as World B mentioned, playing 69 regular season games. And look, along with the SGA and J-Dub, they're probably the most dominant big three in the sport right now.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least here, World B, Jalen Duren.
This is the one guy his numbers are great. We made the All-Star team and whatever. I would have liked to have seen a player like Scotty Barnes get to that third team. I think he did enough at both ends of the court to warrant it over somebody like Jalen Duren. But that being said, he put up absolutely solid numbers, 19.5 points a game, 10 rebounds a game. Just a solid performance. So, he shot over 65%, but, and he did it. He only got about less than 12 shots a game, and he was able to be as productive as he was. He really struggled in the postseason. We saw that. Really did not look good in that Cleveland series, but he, in general, had, for the regular season, he put up solid numbers. I just thought Scotty Barnes overall had a better season.
All right, Bruce.
Well, right now he's the 4th best Jalen in the league behind Brown, Brunson, and Johnson. But he has the potential to rise much higher. He's a young big, but making third team could complicate his next contract negotiation because now he qualifies for the 5-year, $287 million Supermax, which would represent 30% of their salary cap instead of a $239 million max, $48 million less, which would represent 25% of the cap. So the question is, are the Pistons going to be ready to cough up that much money to keep him? Or will his playoff struggles affect the team's thinking? could be some interesting negotiations between the team and his reps.
Great one to point out there, Bruce, something that we'll have to follow along with there. And one last fun fact I had is 27% of the players with a variation of the name Jalen made an All-NBA team this year. So, Bruce, you pointed it out earlier this year, too. This was another, not a prediction, but just a note that you made. You know, we love the Jalens, and so we're celebrating the Jalens here tonight with the All-NBA team honors.
Hey, by the way, one last thing on this whole All-NBA team. I get that Cade and Luka got their waiver or got their, the injury rule waived for them.
Yeah.
But Anthony Edwards, how did his get denied? Because that's disappointing because he played in 61 games. If he was allowed, if they waived the rule for him, he surely would have been at the very least second team All-NBA, but if not first team. So I was a little disappointed to see the rules waived for Cade and Luka, but Anthony Edwards somehow did not get the same treatment.
Yeah, and something that I think the league has to figure out because there's that gray area right now, and it doesn't seem to make sense one way or the other there.